Shalom.
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 Alright, first and foremost, we're going to give our praises and glory
To
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash.
double honors be unto the apostles of great milestone who rule well. Peace and blessing to the brothers that push this word in sincerity and in truth. You know, a few brothers from GMS Trinidad get to break out the bread. The entitlement of the video will be based off of marriage. Sex is marriage. You know, a lot of people, you know, they get twisted on what sex or what marriage really is. You know, hold on. Yeah, can't. So, you know, a lot of people don't have the proper understanding on what marriage really is, you know, according to the Bible. Not according to the customs or Eastern thinking. You know, like you're going into a building and you get marriage papers and whatever the case might be. You know, that do determine what marriage is. But according to the Bible, when a man and a woman come together, you know, and have sexual intercourse, that bonds you. You know, that is what marriage really is. You know, so we go just bring a few precepts just to expound on what we're saying. You know, and,
I'll start with this precept here. This is Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. It says, "Therefore shall a..."
The thing is with marriage, the two becoming one. When two people have intercourse with each other, the body fluids actually bind, right? Right? So that is where the body fluids bind, right? So marriage basically was actually a contract between two families or a father with a next guy. So marriage wasn't really, it had nothing really to do with emotions or anything like that, but it was a contract between two families. I have a son, a brother, or a friend of mine, he have a daughter, and we come together to bind with family, right? We use my son and his daughter to bind family. You understand? But when you look up into the customs of ancient Mesopotamia, right? Ancient Mesopotamia, which is actually the cradle of civilization, right? And you do some research into the marriage customs there, you will better understand how marriage was really good. Because marriage, plainly and really and truly, is a business. They will tell you that, right? It has nothing to do with emotions or people having feelings for each other, all right?
Yeah, because most times the daughter and the son might even know one another. That day when they get married on might be the first day they meet.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
bring that scripture there one time.
Yeah, Isaac and Rebecca.
Yeah, this is you can see there on the screen. It says Genesis 24 and 67. It says, and Isaac brought. What the fuck are we reading from the scriptures?
Go a little higher.
Yeah, Genesis 24 and verse 62.
Yeah, it cuts out at 62.
Right, and it says, and Isaac came from the way of the well Laha Roi, for he dwelt in the south country, and Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the evening tide, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, a camel were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. For she had said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. Right, this is now the first time Rebecca saw Isaac, right? He said she took a veil and covered herself.
Give my little imagination kind of, you know?
Which is the proper way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It says she took the veil, right, and covered herself, verse 66. And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. And Isaac brought her unto his mother Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. And in modern day, right, we in a situation like that, when a woman now meet a man and they have sex, what did I say?
Like fornication.
Yeah, and she's a hoe because she now meet him, and you can now meet a man and you have sex with him. But in an instance like that, in ancient times, you meet somebody, because she went searching, I think the servant went searching for somebody for your wife at the same kin. Right? And that was the first time they met. And they became husband and wife through sex.
Exactly.
Through sex.
They consummated the marriage. Right, so the next thing I forget to mention in the customs of ancient Mesopotamia, right, and also in the Hebrew custom, when now a wedding, this one day wedding thing, or let us have, right, really and truly a wedding supposed to be 7 to 14 days long. Some of the people who does still actually keep these customs is the Nigerians, just to show that they are Hebrew Israelites themselves, right? But they expected that when the two come together on the first day of the wedding was to consummate or to seal the marriage by having sex. And one of the ways also to conceal or to consummate the marriage was especially on the first night of the wedding that the woman was to be impregnated. And that is also to show the two becoming one. Right? Because the gametes, the body fluids, they mixed, and she receives seed from the man, right? And she now will nourish that seed. So both of them will actually become one where that child is concerned, right? So, our next thing, marriages would have been deemed null and void without the two parties having sex. So really and truly, though they are married in the sense of betrothal or espousal, if a next man would have come now and have sex with that woman, which is adultery still, because in the sense she wasn't betrothed to that guy, he basically make the marriage null and void between the two people.
Yeah, because you are not right inside of it, because that is a union.
Exactly. Deuteronomy 22 and 22, it says, if a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they shall both of them die. Both the man that lay with the woman, and the woman, for she shall, and the woman, so shall they put away evil out of Israel. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto her husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then they...
So hold it a sec, right? One more thing before that, because why it was so serious. When you go back to the ancient people, right? Just like how the scripture saying Psalms 132, his word is above his name. Those people are serious with the words also. So if I say, hey, I give him my daughter to this man, that was his word, that is his contract. Would they say a man is his word or something? So it have a say.
A man what is he born?
A man is good as he would.
Right. So if I promise my daughter unto a man and somebody else come like I make myself a fool. I mean like, hey, I ain't a good man. You understand? Exactly. So that is one of the reasons why they put it there. And the most I talk about keeping an oath.
If I could say this to I think it's Jacob. Jacob. When he worked for his father-in-law, he was working for the wife. And he was presented to the first daughter. And he had was to he cursed out on that. He was angry. Yeah. Because they didn't keep your word. We made a we made a pact, make a covenant that You know?
Can't.
Or even in the event with Saul, because Saul make David promise David you get your daughter, and then he go against the word,
Can.
you know.
Yeah, can't. So that was a serious thing because, as I said, the most I talk about a oath. Hey, that is why I personally try my best
Not
not
to
to
make
make any,
yeah.
because hey, the Lord will put you to the test.
You stand up with what you say.
Yeah, can. So right, that is when the word when the scripture talk about the truth, it means a promise. The Hebrew word there, the bar, which is word. That man gave his word. You understand? He gave his promise. Alright, unto this man, and somebody else coming there, you basically you commit adultery. Adultery goes back into I think the Latin adultere, which means to alter. When you alter in something, you change, right? And men never used to really swear so long ago. Men in ancient days was actually men to the word basically. You understand? So they never used to really play with that. A marriage was a contract, a deal. When two business people have a contract or a deal, they could go to court if you know
Yeah,
one
have any grievances because
Yeah.
you alter what we agreed on.
exactly.
Our precept here, this is Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 13. It says, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers power will judge.
Can.
Yeah, marriage is an honorable thing, something you have to keep. If you can't turn, you can't go against your word. When the two people is to come together, you have to stand up at your word. Because our business deals, it come like if I come to purchase a car. You know, I can't think I have all my credentials in place, everything, the money, because you had to pay the 50 shekels.
Right.
I say, you understand?
Yep.
And then when you get where you're supposed to get now, because even Jacob worked for it.
Can.
He didn't have 50 shekels to pay, but he worked, he asked for faith.
So yeah, that good as money.
Yeah,
You
that's
understand?
the worry.
But it was all good for Jacob at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he ended up getting where he wanted, and he get the upper hand and label with the animals.
Yeah,
Can.
and if I could
Yeah, go
if I could add into also you know, when you look up the definition of fornication in the Google, they'll tell you fornication is sex before marriage. You know, but just to bring a light on that, fornication don't mean sex before marriage. According to the Bible, when you look into the word fornication, it actually means an illicit act, like bestiality, you having sex with your sister, which is incest. You know, any unlawful activity is considered as fornication, but fornication don't mean sex before marriage.
Because
It
it
don't
also has spiritual fornication.
Can.
So what is spiritual fornication if fornication is
True.
sex before marriage?
You know,
What is spiritual fornication if fornication is sex before marriage?
can.
Can. Right, and the Hebrew word there. When you go into the Strongs,
Oh no,
when you go into the Strongs, right, for
fornication.
in the Old Testament, right, is zana, which is whoredom, harlot, right, or idolatry, right. So as the brother was explaining, spiritual fornication would be idolatry.
Exactly.
Because we already married to the Most High. The scripture say a man shall not put away his wife unless for the case of fornication. So if she done married, or sex before marriage is fornication, and she done married, right? And next thing, with a lot of people now these days, right? And that is why this topic had to come up, because some people just want to get married and don't have children. Now the main purpose for marriage in the first place, because business, right? Children, your children, sex could be, you could actually divorce a woman. That is why women long ago, like what Sarah did with Hagar, she made sure and get a concubine. They also say in Mesopotamia, Yeah, in ancient Mesopotamia, you get the woman. She duty now, she can't make children. She get a concubine now. Some female for she man to make children to take with a reproach. And it come like true that woman she have a child for she husband. Because they said that was means for divorce in Mesopotamia, even when they look up the Hammurabi Code. You understand? When they look up the Hammurabi Code or the I forget the next name, right? But it also goes back into marriages and adultery and all was very dangerous in them men and them era, right? But you have to children with the scripture saying Psalms 127.
Children is
Right. Blessed be the man that have his
Powerful.
yeah. People know these days they want to marry and ain't have children. You understand?
Or the wife want to decide, well, you know, she too young to have children right now. When she reaching she late 30s or into 40s, then she will start to have a child.
When they go into menopause. Right? Because this is Psalm 127. It says, Lo, children are an heritage of Yahweh, and that is why marriage honorable, as they say. And the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. You hear that? Of the youth, at a very young age. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. So the more children they have, that come like a defense to you. When they look up even words, the word ak, which is brother, means strong wall, right? But the thing about children, your first servants really and truly is the children. Go and fetch me some water, go and do this to your daughter. As we are talking about, she might learn to take the wool from the sheep, turn that into thread. And next daughter might be able to turn that thread into cloth. You understand? The mother now might, when she teaching all of that, whatever the case is, they put it on the market, they sell. You understand? A daughter might know to make cake, whatever, the son he, because there are different duties for the family in the house.
You might be able to go and hunt a deer, you know, bring food into the place. You might go and take care of the cattle, take care of the sheep.
And that is something that I learned at a point in time when I was doing research. And no matter of fact, Selak, not when I was doing research, Selak, I heard somebody say this long ago. Your children was your riches. But now Esau cut it down that, well, you only want, they make it so hard for you to have children, you understand, and they take away polygamy and these kind of things. Now a man only is supposed to have one wife. Well, the more children a man has, better he might have a big field.
Yeah, around 9, how much?
70.
70.
You understand? So what all them children would have been able, as the brother was saying, cattle, the sheep, the field, the daughters go to draw water for sheep brothers, or whatever the case is. When marriage come now, he sell he daughters. Even a man could have even get his son to work as a servant, but that would more be for the son benefit. Because I can remember El Apostle was bringing that out. At the age of 12, you might give your son to a well-known rich person, and he learn. And according to our law, after a Hebrew servant worked for you 7 years, you give him a portion. He could, so at the age of 19, he could build his own house. He could go and marry, and that's how the ancient custom was. But Esau now, Esau said, nah, school. So they send you in school, indoctrinate you. You understand?
Come out and make their money.
Come out and make their money. So that is they do, and they put marriage out on TV in such a way they show you the illusion of marriage supposed to be this. Go to church, the pastor say, pastor invest like the power invested in me. I know pronounce the husband and wife. Where was the pastor with Isaac and Rebecca, with Jacob, Leah and Rachel? The law talk about if you go and war next country. Motherfucker should bring that. Yeah.
All this go back to them Roman customs.
Yeah.
All this go back to Roman customs because the scriptures never speak anything about the power they invested in me. You know, the pastor that read from, I don't know what book.
What book?
They read from, but they read from a book.
Yeah.
This and this and that, and
Vows.
tell that to us. Yeah. I've got to look up that too. You know?
Alright, 21:50 talk about if a man have 2 wives, I think is right. It says here, Deuteronomy 21 verse 10. Tell me what the pastor is here. Deuteronomy 21 verse 10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and Yahweh thy power hath delivered them into thy hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Somebody get Judges 5 and 30 from an Bible question.
I got it.
It says, Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, husband, and she shall be thy wife. What the pastor did? You telling me every time I go to war, I have to move with that pastor? You understand? That make no sense. See what it says, Judges 5 and 30.
Customs and man. They Judges 5 and 30 says, have they not divided the prey to every man a damsel or two?
A damsel or two. You understand? But when you go to war, boy, Howard, do you see these two here?
Thy mind.
Thy mind. You understand? However the case is, it have no pastor, it have no the pastor, the priest, he don't have no power over that. You understand? They had the duties, but when marriage is concerned, that is between really and truly, as the ancient customs, between two families, two fathers, right? Or in a case like this is totally different. And sex is, but what you say in here, sex is marriage. When you read the scripture, sex is marriage.
Because that is the only way the two could become one. You know?
Yeah, when I think about it, yeah.
That is the only way two could actually become one and produce. Because why? The scripture actually say you should look for what? The fruit of a womb. You lay seed. That's how you get to get the fruit, you have to plant your seed. And you will see that tree flourish and bring forth fruit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just she shall. Right. Next case, right? 22, Deuteronomy 22 and verse 10. The scripture say all the laws are the most high are good. Right? They say Deuteronomy 22:28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, right? A young marriageable woman who never also, it have two Hebrew words, a woman who never had sex or a young marriageable woman. Right? It says, if a man find a damsel.
Like what?
Deuteronomy 22:28.
No, you don't say some more. Virgin.
Yeah, two different words. Right. One is I will I think, or one means a young marriageable woman, and one means a woman who never had sex. So a woman, Mary, when the scripture says Mary was a virgin, she was a young marriageable woman, right? Then when the scripture says a virgin shall bring forth children, when you go into Isaiah 9, or is it Isaiah 7? I more believe it's Isaiah 9. A virgin shall bring forth a child, and thou shalt call his name Emmanuel, right? That was she's second or third child for Isaiah. She is a young marriageable woman. So if she don't have two children for Isaiah, how a man never touch she?
Hey, well, as you say that too now, I was watching Ella Malcolm from Chicago camp, and he was bringing out that from the ancient, not ancient, not from a dictionary. He does have some dictionary from way back.
Them encyclopedias.
And them had the accurate things, and when they compare it to the now dictionary, it totally changes.
Yeah, there is real changes.
You see the word virgin. You say virgin, a woman of age that can still bear children, because a woman of age that could still bear children, that could still bring forth, that also considered as a virgin too.
Even in the library, when select, I know how the preceptor bring, but just them old time dictionaries, they really have certain good information. They even have the etymology. It have I think it's Amcha or some kind of something dictionary in the library. Vex they close on library. talking
Totally
about
like-
Hawa.
Yeah.
The verb to be in the Most High name, which they go back to tell you Yahweh is the name when they go back into, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah.
They used to have that in the etymology. I don't think
Etymology.
I don't think it there.
I ain't sure. When they look up Jehovah,
When they look up Jehovah, I'm looking for the they can.
and Yahweh. So that is, as I looking to see if I could get back a library card or whatever, boom. Lockdown.
But that new speech, you know, you call that new speech because from what you see mean back then and now, they change it up so that new speech.
Right, because what they're ultimately doing is changing the world to set the foolishness.
That's right, God.
So, yeah, God forbid we here until 2020, 30 and 20 thing with the foolishness is speaking. Do you think it could mean back by then? Do you think the word married could mean in that dictionary where your daughter and your son going to school and learning from?
And you talking about that, you know what now come in my head and that you are the most sign go permitted. Next thing you know, they put a different meaning to his name.
Can.
And you know the scripture say my name terrible amongst the heathen, the Lord don't play with his name. Right? Going back to Deuteronomy 22:28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin which is not betrothed, so she not promised, right, to anybody, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, right? So he grabbed she, a heat came over him, and he takes she by force.
22?
Yeah, 22, 28, going on 29. Then the man that lay with her, we mean to lay with her, lie down next to she, no, take off she clothes, he penetrate the woman, right? Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife. Where the pastor was, they was in an open field. Who knows? They was probably picking cotton. She been over bad.
I'm back here.
Can.
This is 1 Corinthians 7:28. But and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned.
I'm not sin.
Yeah, and the thing with the Christian church, what they doing, you know, when you actually take a beat, you understand?
Yeah, I'm married.
No, they making you feel bad. They making you feel like if you sin.
But the scripture says better to marry than to burn.
Can. So, hey, better to marry than to burn. So what I'm telling you there again, sex is marriage.
Sex is marriage, yeah. Because you burning is lost. It come like you're lost in it.
You might, if you're burning, you might be end up
Watching somebody else thing, yeah, you'll be coming at a level of lost in it.
Yeah. Right, all these are the laws of the Most High. If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, we mean go in unto her again, right? Sex, and give occasional speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take them and bring forth the tokens of the damsel virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. So we are talking earlier that it must have witnesses, all right? That nobody really actually, one of the reasons for witnesses, a man could have I'll put it in this situation, you know, come into let me say as a stranger, I come into an area wherever the case is sojourn. You understand? And I'm marking a young thing wherever the case is. A fella might say, who is that here? How you watching? She so thing wherever, nah boy, she have a man. Go put my piece and my cues, you understand? She married to Howard, whatever the case is thing, you understand? Even if she won't play the harlot, she can't play the harlot. You understand? It says, and
back then, you actually really know one man by sheer attire or
by sheer attire also,
yeah,
because they had widow's garments. Garments obviously when they married, and well, as the scriptures say here in 21, captivity, when they're in captivity.
Right.
It says
Salah, now do they wear them garments. Now do they wear with the desire. So now if you're married common law, how you gonna know if someone next man gonna know your wife married because they ain't nothing to say they married? and they have a ring on their finger. And I tired meet women who say they're not married, they just had a ring on their finger.
For
To
style.
keep, yeah, to, for fellas, to
Yes.
keep away.
Yeah.
Like I'm married now. So,
And well, one thing the Muslims just actually keep that custom too, where the head would be covered, and the face show. That is for like who not married. The ones with the veil on the face is like, well, right, she married, so you can't see, she can't just overshow over the cases.
somebody one was going on in Port of Spain, well dressed with the veil on her face and everything, fully covered down. Yeah, really.
Yeah, can.
Very appealing to see a woman fully dressed and covered.
Important. It says going on Deuteronomy 22:15. It says, then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. Right, and when you do research, they will tell you this was basically a white sheet. What they just use as a representative of this is when a woman wear a white wedding dress. You understand? It says, like to show you, so it's a thief, It says, and the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he had given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. So it would be a white cloth showing blood. I can remember a Christian pastor, and he was basically explaining it beautiful also, where the hymen goes back to when they look it up in ancient words. Don't know where he get his research from. The hymen goes back to festival or festivity. So when a man break that, he go get married. How a man does feel when he break out? Yeah. The scripture say as a eunuch wanting to be flower virgin. Right, because what that festivity, that marriage are packed now, you understand? So the hymen actually goes back to festivity, and when that bursts, she will bleed on top of the white sheet, and the custom was the mother would have go and fold the sheet and bring it out and say, hey, well, look, my daughter was a virgin.
Yeah. Can. Yeah, no?
Alright, so I'll just read the punishment. It says, and the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he had brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel, and she shall be his wife, he may not put her away all his days. You understand? To pay double the
Can you say Alex too?
for this case, yeah,
I think it
that
should be them too.
chastise him.
Yeah.
And the chastisement, they used to give people 40 stripes. We never go over. They say anytime you go over 40 stripes, they come like a hate brother in it. You have to for the cases. That is why I think even the Apostle Paul say he received about 80 stripes for like different occasions. He get 40, then he get 40 save one, because whoever was looking to beat him. You understand? So yeah, all these points is to show that sex is marriage, even when you're going to the book of Tobit.
Is Matthew 19:9. It says, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whosoever marry her, which is put away, do it commit adultery.
Yeah, because it commits altering. You understand? She gonna be burning too. That way scripture says better you reconcile. You understand? Because you push her away, she don't know where sex. You understand? She don't know how a man feel. You push her away, she gonna
Not only that too, it say, and whosoever put away remain his wife, except it be for fornication. And you look at the word fornication, where you say sex before marriage. But you see,
Like because they not no understanding.
can. That is why he said us that they have play on words in order for you to keep you binded in a certain type of way. And that their philosophies and their order to make you feel like you're going off.
And just to show you that sex is marriage also, how the woman read it over.
Can. This is Matthew 19:9. It says, "And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committed adultery.
Mm-hmm.
And whosoever marry her, which is put away, do it commit adultery."
So how if it is I come and I put a ring on she finger, how I committing adultery? I never had sex with she. This is Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 1. It says,
Yeah, what a ring doing? What a ring really symbolizing?
can
A ring ain't gonna symbolize anything.
Jeremiah 3 and 1. They say if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, said the Lord. So how she going to be polluted?
Hey,
How she polluted?
Because the scriptures say, if a
Deuteronomy.
woman depart from she husband, let she stay unmarried. It didn't say if a man depart from the woman
Mm-hmm.
for he to stay unmarried. So where's the fornication concerning spiritual adultery?
Deuteronomy 22:22. If a man found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they shall both of them die. Both of them that lay with the woman. And the woman, so shall they put away evil out of Israel. So shall they put away evil out of Israel.
The scripture say every man have his own wife.
Can. So, and you bring a point there.
It's a lying, right? Lying with a woman. What are you doing here?
You're sex.
think
You're
it's-
sexing she.
I think it's Ephesians 5 and 22, if I'm correct, where it says, obey your husband as
Ephesians.
as Yahushua is the church.
Yeah,
Against
Love
the
thy,
church.
love thy,
Yeah. Right?
yeah.
Now,
Ephesians 5 and 24. Therefore,
22.
I say,
Go ahead, read on.
22. Wives, submit yourselves.
Unto your
Yeah.
husband.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your husband, and unto your husbands as unto Yahweh. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Mashiach is the head of the church.
So that is why I bring the point. So in the spiritual adultery now, if it is the same that basically is sex before marriage is adultery, then what is the spiritual adultery?
Yeah, with this spiritual adultery.
Because we is the wives.
Unto Yahushai.
You understand?
Yeah.
So what is this? How they gonna explain this spiritual adultery in a case like that? Because we are the wives of Yahushua.
Married unto we.
Can
We is married unto him.
And sex is a form of worship. Sex is a form of woman submitting herself to you. So if we submit to another God, we commit adultery.
can that's how there's humble.
That's how it is humble a woman. Exodus 21:9 and 10. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage
Shall not be replenished.
shall not be diminished. So what is the duty of marriage? She duty of marriage is to have sex and bring 4 children.
Correct. They'll not be diminished. And that's showing it too that also showing that a man
Line up there too.
that also showing that a man can have multiple wives. Once, as the scripture say, the first one thing should not be diminished, diminish or diminish, diminish.
And that making you understand what you read there in Matthew also. If a man put away, you're not supposed to put away, he can marry another. But your first wife don't put away, still screw she.
Yeah.
Again,
They will tell you.
both of them, you're supposed to treat them the same,
Yeah.
basically.
You still have to get she the lolo. Or the lolias that are saying Santana. You understand? But showing you what sex, intercourse, that is marriage. You understand? That is how you consummate marriage, even as I brought out before, is on the One Bible Dictionary. But they look up in marriage in ancient Mesopotamia.
Marriage is not a man going on a knee and throwing a woman some ring, and that's foolishness.
Like Esau,
Yeah.
Esau can keep that custom. And that custom
Went
are the
down below
scriptures.
the woman. That is not marriage.
Yeah. That is not custom.
Foolishness, men getting feminized now on this part of the earth and doing them garbage. And then women, after they gone stood down on the woman now,
She tell you now.
she tell you now.
Blank in here.
Or she tell you yes. And playing in all different form of
Expensive.
streets.
Yeah.
You know, straight jacket after that.
I need a bag of expense to prepare for a wedding.
And when you take it out, like you're gaining power, you're basically like you're gaining them power when you do that.
That is exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, because remember you kneel down to them, you know.
Yeah, you ain't showing
That,
your
that
dominance.
come like you, that she is the king and you're a peasant, you know, because
Yes.
you actually kneeling to your superiority. You understand? So you giving she that pedestal, eh? So she can do what the fuck she want now.
Yeah, and as you're saying, that expenses, the engagement ring alone is money. The wedding band is an extra money. Then to pay for the way you call it, pay for the pastor, pay a
Hey,
organizer.
if I can say,
Two rings.
Esau,
It's 2 rings there, Sally.
yeah, you gotta get one and she gotta get one. Esau, if I can say, Esau planned this to the spirit and power you have Hashem Yashai because the most high, so good, just to make money, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Am I
Marriage, ring,
too,
yeah, engagement ring, your wedding band.
It's a thing for the engagement first.
Hey, Esau plan is so perfect.
even funerals, you might make him money.
So yeah, money have to make.
Can. Well, with the funerals thing, I could say something, but I want the video to get think so.
Yeah, so for time's sake.
And with that, we want
For the those that define.
to by giving all praises, honor and glory to
To
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. I want to say double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that surely rule well, and salutations to the brothers that pushing this word out here in the four corners of the earth. I want to say shalom and to the sisters who listening in silence.
Right.
Remember, marriage is basically
Sex.
sex.
Nice one.
Shalom.
Shalom.